Jai Gudev, good evening everyone. My name is Someshwar. I welcome all of you on behalf of Art of Living organization to योग वाशिष्ठ सेशन। नमस्ते, मैं सोमेश्वर आप सभी का आर्ट ऑफ लिंग संस्था की तरफ से योग वाशिष्ठ के सायंकाल के सत्र में स्वागत करता हूँ। We'll begin our session by chanting Om 3 times. Today we are on 158th session. आज हम लोग अपने 150 से सत्र में यहाँ पे पहुंच चुके हैं। And our today's topic will be that we'll look at that we have seen that particular that Muni, that sage who has enters into the his disciples' body. What happens after that? We have been looking this story. Let us look at and let us unfold what happens to them. And in between, what is the additional knowledge that discover is something that we'll see, because they are also doing the manthan. That dialogue between the Vyadh and that Muni is going on, and in their dialogue there is that manthan is happening, and whenever this manthan happens, the nectar comes out of it. That nectar is coming out. So let us see what is it there for us today to learn out of these sessions. So once again, I welcome all our Zoom participants, all our YouTube viewers, and all our Facebook viewers to today's session. Let's continue the session. Let's all close our eyes and we'll offer our prayers to the Master. आराम से बैठ जाएं. Let us make our spine erect, neck straight, shoulders relaxed. A gentle smile on your face to feel that contentment, trupti inside. Be in a gratitude towards the Master. That is the Guru grace that we are getting all these things. Let us bring back our attention to our breath. Experience your breath, observe your breath. Take a normal breath in and let go. Take a deep breath in and exhale completely. Exhale out all your worries, everything become hollow and empty. Let us experience that Om Nan. Take a deep breath in. Let us invoke the divinity within. आवाहन कर ले. आवाहनम. 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 पुनः पुनः सच्चिदानंद रूपोऽहम् शिवोऽहम् शिवोऽहम् शिवोऽहम्. Let us express our gratitude towards the Master. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Deva Maheshwaraha, Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Tasmai Shri Shri Gurave Namaha. Let us pray to the divinity, to the Master. Whatever the words that come out of this mouth, whatever the actions that are happening, whatever the thoughts that hover onto this mind and the power of discrimination arise in our intellect, whatever the impressions that might be getting created in our memory, and still there is an iota of that I, me. Let all the known and unknown levels of our existence be inspired by the Master alone. Pray like this. If you have already experienced that, this chitta, your intellect, your memory, your mind, and your ego sense combined together creates an illusionary bondage. But what you are is only free from it. And let this remaining life be inspired by that Chaitanya. Pray like this. Feeling the presence of that consciousness, that Guru Shakti, which what you are. You are peace, you are joy, you are love. Being with ourselves, with the feeling of contentment, trupti, ananda, shanti, rain, slowly and gradually. The gentle smile on your face, you may open your eyes. Jai Gurudev. Chaliye, let's continue with our story. Continue with our today's session. So we are listening to a story of there is this hunter uh, who happens to go and visit one of the ashram where he meets one of the sage. And there is a dialogue that is happening between both of them. And when this Vyadh, this hunter, continues to ask multiple very curious questions to this sage, the sage continue to answers to his questions, and there is a very beautiful knowledge. There is a very beautiful nectar that comes out their dialogue, and that is what we are looking at. So let us continue with that now. Here, uh, this Vyadha is essentially having a dialogue with the sage. The sage tells him that this is how I have seen, this is how I have done it. So I entered into, I learned how to get into someone else's body. That's called Parakaya Pravesh. And then I entered into my own disciple's body. And in his body, I've experienced all this internal things, such as the dreams, swapnavastha, jagruta avastha and awareness state, or the sushupti avastha, asleep, and the turya avastha, the just being with your own self and being with that jiva bhava, that individual consciousness. I actually experienced and observed all these things by entering into my disciple's body. So that is where I have experienced all these multiple avasthas, modulations, by entering into the disciple's body. So those are what? Jagruta avastha, swapna avastha, sushupti avastha. So he says that when I entered into the disciple's body, that point of time, when I have seen all the his mind and all the activities that are going on inside his mind, that point of time, even I have experienced the swapna, the dream also. And that time, after listening to this Vyadha, and then that Vyadha, that hunter, asked the question that, hey Munisreshta, so if you, when you have been going through all this thing and into that hallucination or that Bhranti Rupa, into that prana, into his heart, that Sarabhut Ujad, and you were there with the individual consciousness, your consciousness and his individual consciousness become one. That point of time, what is it that you have seen after that? What more you have seen after that? Kindly explain to me. So that point of time, this sage continues to explain that he says, hey Vyadha, Vyadha is means hunter. That hey Vyadha, that point of time I was there in my Linga Deha. Linga Deha means the subtle body, the Sukshma body, subtle body. And my subtle body that has completely mixed together. It has become one with the Jiva, that individual consciousness of that disciple. That point of time, I entered into his heart. That point of time, I entered into this Teja Dhatu. There is this called, there's something called as Teja Dhatu. I entered into that. And that point of time, inside that, I have told you that whatever the things I saw, that kind of thing, that pralaya, that thing I saw, I experienced that. And into this pralaya janna sthiti, I observed that I have been flowing and I have been floating. And that point of time, there are very different things I saw inside that prana. What are the various rasa vahak, what are the food that we eat, and if you see the smallest particle of that, that will all flowing, and then it all flowing through all the veins of that. And that point of time, even that smallest particle of that anna, that food, it appeared to me like a very big mountain. So what is we are trying to say, that your jiva, that chaitanya, is such a sukshma. It's very subtle, subtler than the subtlest. No, that is it in that form, and it is there everywhere. It is there everywhere. So that is what has been, we can understand using this experience. So he says that it looked like an appear like the mountain to me, and because of that, I completely felt very tired. And that time, that thing, I went into a very deep sleep. That is where the sushupti avastha I experienced. So that point of time, after taking that thing, that is a deep sleep, then again, after some time, again I became aware. And that point of time, I again that samvedna, that jani, that awareness that came back to me, and I came out of that sushupti avastha, and I got into a little bit of kind of swapna nidra avastha. I got into that. So that point of time, I saw that there is a very big um, ocean is there, and on the bank of that there is a very beautiful bank is there, a very beautiful this srishti is there. It's full of all the flowers, all the trees, and it's all greenery. That thing I saw. Then I also saw that inside that there is this avidya. Because of it's all happening imaginary. It was all because of the avidya. And then I because of that I saw myself that I have entered into this swapna jagata one more time. So he says that once I started seeing a dream over there, just like that in that dream, everything was into the pratibharu, everything was basaman. It was all there, imaginary over there. That point of time, I saw that there is a concept of this boundary, deshikara, concept of time, the kriya, actions, the dravya, the matter, all these things were there, and it was all continuously, all the different daily routines and all these things, all this Vyakti Vastu Paristhiti, they were all doing that. So like that, inside that thing, after looking this Jagata, this thing, what is there in front of me, I become very happy in that. And then I saw the rivers, I saw the mountains, I saw the different forests in space, etc. etc. All these things were there. And that point of time, I saw that I have my family is there. I'm staying inside the village, and then all the other people are there. So like that, which I kept on seeing like that. So after that, I saw that all the different villagers and their relatives, and then things. And then that craving that has come into picture, that okay, this is all mine, I'm married, this is my kid, these are all my friends. So that thing, that vasana, that cravings have come into picture, and because of that it has become like an jagruta avastha for me. Even though I was in a dream, it appeared like it is jagruta avastha for me. So like that, that point of time, I have completely forgotten who am I, what is the purpose of my, why am I came here. I have completely forgotten that. So in that thing, he says to Vyadha, this Muni who is talking to Vyadha, he said that it is just like a mirror, that whatever something you stand in front of the mirror, and that point of time, if you see something, it will just reflect into that. It was that kind of thing. So this Chidarupa Atma, this your consciousness, just automatically depending upon whatever the vasana, that cravings that you do, depending upon it will take that form and it will appear like that. In reality, just that Chinmatra, it is just like that mirror, this clean akasha sthiti, that will just, because of this dvaita bhavana, because of this duality and this vasana, all these cravings, it will just take different vibramas, no, just like a pratibimba it will do, but in reality things. So I was into that state. I was considering everything around me as real, and I was living my life. So what is the upaya of this dvaita bhuta, that is the, what is the upaya for that, what is the solution for that? So that is the point that we continuously explain to Vyadha, that he says Vyadha, so what is that one has to do? One has to do the satat abhyasa, the continuous practice. One has to get into the sadhu sangati. This one has to get in with the get in touch with the person who is following all these things, sadhu sangati. Then he has to continue to go through the sat shastras. Then we have to go through the adhyatma shastra. Like that, by doing all this, one has to clear their mind. It's all cluttered mind. So we have to just clean that mind, and then we have to make this buddhi, this intellect, sharpen and make it experience that bodha, that pragya. That point of time, this bodha buddhivan, which is right, then it will not diminish. So then it will remain, and it will continue to remain into that brahmanu sandhanu ruparan. So that point of time, such a buddhi that will think. But for me, that was not there. That wasn't the case. So because of that, all the surrounding people, my son, my friends, etc., etc., I was completely entangled into them, and I was started staying with them, just like as if everything is there. And my Atma Anusandhan, that who am I, that knowledge, that I was not completely aware of, it just took a back seat. No? So like that, that Atma Darshana Sarupa, that Swachha Buddhi, who am I, that was not there. So because of that thing, But even despite of this, that Chaitanya, that nobody can touch it. It was all pure, even in such a situation it was there. So like that, if you see that Vyadha in this thing, once you get inside thing, into the satsangadi, etc., these things, this complete, whatever this buddhi, that completely wasn't cleaned that point of time, and because of that, it was not experiencing that peace of mind. But you do remember that I am telling you now, what is it that one has to do to really experience this? One has to do the tapa acharana, one has to do the austerity, and after that, this vyadha, this thing. So he'll say what will happen to you. No, even for you also, this is what will happen. That after listening to this knowledge, and you will start doing some of the tapa acharanas. After that, once your vyadha, this particular body, it will die. After that, you will get a next life. In that next life, you will go and you will have a kingdom, and in that kingdom you will rule that king. After that, you will continue to do the war and all these things, and then after that, you will really regret that what has happened, and then again that vichara of that atmagyan vichara, that thing will come to you. Again, you will start your yoga abhyasa, sadhana abhyasa. After that, all your doubts, all your expectation, all your cravings, ichhas, etc., they will become calm, and after that you will become the bodhyukta. So he's telling him the future, what will happen to you. So that is the point of time this Vyadha asked, hey Muniraj, whatever you have told me, this is so true. But after that thing, after listening to this, my buddhi is not really agreeing to this. Somebody comes to us and says that, oh, this is not real. Will we just like that accept? It doesn't like this. That is exactly that is happening with the hunter also, that Vyadha also. He said that really, is it really like this? Is it really like that? So is it really this Jagat is just doesn't have any cause and effect behind it? And this is because this avidya is so vast, and because I have been continuously living in this world of this avidya, because of that only all this avidya janit jaga, this universe which is there, that is completely there in my mind, and I have been, because of that thing, I am not able to remove that Bhranti, that this Jagat is just an illusion, it is the unreal world. I'm really not able to understand this in totality. And the Satsanga and the Satshravana, or even the Uttam Guru Sampradaya and the Vichara of that thing, that Vivek Buddhi, after studying that, contemplating that thing in its totality, and after going through the knowledge in totality, with this Jagad Rupa Brahma, will that really diminish? Will that thing will go? No. So like that, I understand that this will go off after I do that all these things. So that is the point of time. This Muni also explained him that, see what has happened, that after I have experienced that Jagrut Avastha, and after explaining that Avastha of that Jagrut Avastha, that and that Atma Bodha, this Muni continued to tell to Rama, look at like this. So it happens like this. So after that, you know what has happened? I was watching that dream. After that, I experienced the Nidra Avastha, means sleep. And in that sleep, I started seeing the one more swapna. So I started seeing one more dream. And after that, in this dream, then I became, I assumed myself as a man. And then I was in a completely deep sleep. After that, I experienced the Jagrut and Swapna Avastha, both the Avastha and the Sushupti Avastha. From the one perspective, it is just the same thing which we saw in the yesterday's chapter, and it is just appearing as a illusionary thing inside out to your Atma, that Avastha. So he explained it something like that. See, look at something like ice is there. So ice, when it melts, it comes into the form of water. When the water is boiled, and then it comes into the form of vapor. When the same vapors, the coolness comes into picture, it again falls down as a rain. So how you say same thing, same element, but how does it take in a different forms? It's the same tattva. Similarly, that happens, that this Atma only experiences Jagrut Avastha, it experiences the Swapna Avastha, it experiences all these different avasthas, or it imagine itself into different forms also. That is what happens. But inside it is just the same thing. That is that Chaitanya Rupi Atma is the one thing. So when this is surrounded by the ignorance, that is avidya. That point of that chit is the unniyantriत form, it's uncontrolled fashion. That chit is there. That avastha is nothing but comes into your jagrut avastha and you sapna. We experience that this chit is not having any control. It is controlled by some illusionary things which is there outside. Then after that, when doing all your efforts, all the shramas, etc., when it goes into the shishupti avastha, then that niyantran, that control has come back, and that point of time, the this also goes, same thing one can experience into the samadhi also, meditative state of mind. That point of time, this ajnana, this avidya, this ignorance is completely dropped out. Your chitta is completely dissolved in yourself. That is nothing mukti. That is when you experience your moksha, mukti. So like this Vyadha, one has to really get out of this outgoing tendencies towards outgoing Vyakti Vastu Paristhiti, towards that, and one has to go and experience this Jagrut and Swapnavastha when it is in uncontrolled state. But the one after doing all the tendencies and its pravrittis of going outward, when you put a stop to that, put a nirodha, put an obstacle to that, that point of time you are somewhere come to an awareness, no? That awareness, that thinking, and it is able to control that. That point of time you experience something like a sushakti avastha, something like a deep sleep, and the jivatma becomes the shokarita. That time all your dukkhas and all your things will drop out. So then he also explains that whatever this vishayakara, this outgoing tendencies of your thing, is that the chit, is it a nature of your chit? Chit means the chaitanya. So that is where the Muni explains to him that Vada, this is what you really know, this you understand, that this shokare, this samadhi sukha, that vishranti, that antakarna is the chiyati, the chit goes through, it is always into that state. But because of the air element, because of the all things, that we cannot control that sanyam, samvid, no? Because it is not a thing to be controlled. Like this, the way we do it with the matter, all the things, or into the swapnadi, all these forms that is there, that continuously happens, that is there, and that is what is its niyati. In that thing, whatever is being created, that becomes the niyati. It becomes a gunadharma of that. For example, the fire is supposed to burn, so that becomes the niyati of that. It becomes the nature of that. So like that, this Nitya, this Chaitanya, this is what is there, its Swabhava, and that cannot go beyond its Swabhava. No? So the Chaitanya, that Vishaya, is not the subject of the Chaitanya. It is that Vishaya is the subject of your Chitta, that comes into picture. So like this Vishaya and that Spuran, that something, that is not the Swabhava, that's not the nature of your Samvit, that awareness, that consciousness, that Chaitanya. So like this, once who goes, and because of that, the Sushupti Avastha, that Anubhava also, it does come there. After that, this Sarga, this Karana Shanya, this Abra, whatever this Chaitanya is there, it doesn't have any cause and effect inside it. It's completely right. Like this, even many Rishi Munis have said the same thing, same Yukti, same Tarka, and because of their own experience, their Anubhava, they have already said something like that. Then, what is it that Padartha, what is it that thing, because of which that Vishaya, that Chaitya comes into picture, because this is not the Chitti's nature. So if you ask like this, then this Chitti itself expresses itself in the form of Chaitya, it expresses itself in the form of Chitta, and then this Chaitya, that Vishayas, and this Chitta combined together, then continue to further expand itself in an imaginated fashion only. And that is how all the things like your Jagrut Avastha, your body consciousness, your individual consciousness, Jiva Bhava, your Chitta, all these things, your intellect, your mind, all these things are imaginated in that fashion. That is how. So in the Swapna, this Satyatva, this reality, that is really not real in nature. And then once someone does the tapa, they gets into the contact with the sadhu purusha and their grace and the etc. All these things, some point of time, how does the things that you see in your dream becomes true, and some point of time, some things that you see in your dream does not become true. How is that? So that is the question that comes over here, and that is where the Muni explains that, see what happens, some point of time, all these things, because of the grace of the master, because of the tapa that you do, because of the mani, mantri, matradika, all these things, some point of time they appears to be real, and or they become real. That thing, it appears like that, but sometimes even in a Jagrut Avastha also, that it does come real or unreal in a very concrete fashion. We cannot say. So we cannot say that. Don't be dependent on what you see in your dreams, because that may or may not come to the Jagrut Avastha. It may or may not come. If it comes, then you say, oh, it is what I saw in the dream, it was real. In reality, dream and Jagrut Avastha, they are not two different things. The same thing which are expressing itself into two different forms. That's it. So that is what has been explained here, that when such things happen, then when you are completely aware about it, that point of this knowledge dawns. And in the Nidra Avastha, it is like that, that Bija Sarupa, it is in the dormant state, in the Sushupti. But that knowledge is always present. It is always there. And that Nitya Atma Drishti, that if you look at it from that perspective, this Marana is also just a Bhanti. Even this death is just also just an hallucination. There is nothing born, there is nothing is being dead. So like this, he said that in such a drishti, there's so many, all the things into your oceans, and it's all the bubbles, and inside that Anantaka, there are so many years that passes. So these all continue to just keep appearing in the just illusive manner. That is what is there. So that is how he continued to explain so much of beautiful things inside this. So he said that in such a chitta, into that manoraja, inside this mind, into that nam rupa, all these things, despite of all these things, is really name and the form. It is not there yet. That mana, that chitta, because of the sakshi of that, it appears like that it is there. When the mind is dissolved, that point of time, other than that Shuddha Vedana Gyan and Kevala Nirvishay Jari, that with that awareness, other than that, nothing remains. So like this, because of this thing, what is the niyati is there? How does niyati comes into picture? What is the meaning of that? And what is the sandesh? What is the message that it is giving to us? So that point of time, he explains to this Vyadha. He says that, look, Vyadha, in this Jagat, akaran, without any reason, so many things appears like that, and then it also has its own niyati, some niyamas are associated with that, and that because of that, this karya karana bhav also comes into picture. So when you continue to be in this world, it's things appears to you that it hasn't cause an effect, because there is this niyati, that the one creator of this universe has created it like that, that cause and effect takes place into that elusive world also. And that point of time, whatever the vyavara, whatever the day-to-day routine that you do, according to that, you will have to keep walking on the path of the shastra, that niyama, that niyati that you have to do. Even your acharya and vichar, whatever your things also, that also should be according to the shastra. We have to respect the knowledge shastras, and according to that, getting in touch with the sadhus, getting in touch with the sadgurus, gurus, we have to really continue to adopt their teachings, and then keep on walking on that, so that we can bypass, we can get over this ignorance, this avidya. And that point of time, once you have realized that these srishti and the niyama, that we will come to know that this is just a paraspar sapekshata, that is like that, one will understand like that. So that is where he continues to explain, and then he says that in such a sharira, then in that body, when I saw the dream, inside that dream, I happened to meet, I actually went to another ashrama, and no, I was staying at my home, and in my home, I happened to see one sage coming and visiting me. Now, where is it all happening? It's just understand this chronological order, otherwise we'll just miss the bus. See what is happening here. There is one Muni, there is one sage who is telling to one Vyadha all this knowledge, all this dialogue. That Muni enters into the Shishya, his disciple's body. Inside the disciple body, that disciple sees the dream. Inside dream, he also becomes one with that, and he sees another dream inside the dream. Now inside the dream, he stays, and he is staying in his home, and in his home there is one more enlightened master Muni comes to meet this Muni who is seeing the dream inside the disciple. Let us remember this sequence because it will be useful for us to understand what is going to come now. So he says this is what happens, and at that point of time there is this one more gentleman, that sage comes to my home, and that point of time I haven't so like this, in that Swapnavastha, there is very beautiful and there is very wonderful and Ashcharya, that thing happens inside the dream, which I'll tell you now. Listen to that. So so many years passes like this without that Atma Chintana, without getting that. So that whole entire time, even though I was alive over there, it is like just like I have been died, like that. I spend that life without utilizing it. After that, some point of time, after Kalankar, some point of time, there was this Mahagyani, that Munivar, that came to my home as a guest. And after doing offering all the pujas, I welcomed him, Atiti Dev Bho. So I did all offer to them. And that point of time, after being tripta, very contented, he had his lunch or the food or the dinner. After that, we were sitting inside our bed. And then that is the point of time I started an interaction with. Now the Muni who is giving the knowledge to Vyadha is now started interacting with the sage, which is there in the dream. And that interaction is happening like that. And as he has forgotten the knowledge that point of time, he asks him that Bhagwan, you are Mahagyani. He is asking that Muni inside the dream is asking to another Muni, another sage. And you appears to be so Mahagyani. You are so calm. You are not been touched up by this krodha and this anger. So, hey Mahatman, kindly please explain me, how does one really get over this Sukha, Dukkha, Ashubha, Ashubha, good and bad, and these things. How does one can become free from all these things? No, that is the question, that thing he asked. And while going through, people go through all these different sankata, etc. How does their dashya karma comes into picture? How it is like that? So the question what is asked, it is a very relevant question to our current situation. What is happening right now? We all are suffering from COVID, right? It's all everywhere. There is a COVID that is spreading, and we are the effect of that everybody is experiencing. Isn't that true? Yes. Well, because of lockdown and all this thing, we are going through it. What is the question being asked here? That if we say that whatever the thing that you have to go as an experience, or the phala swarup, that fruit of your karma, then all these people have done the dushkarma, so they are experiencing all this COVID kind of situation. Really beautiful question, very apt for the moment. Let us see what is an answer that comes over here. So after listening to this, that Muni, he looked at me with a wonder, and he then smiled. Little bit of smile came, and that is the point of time he looked at me and he told me this. What is it that's being told? Why does this happen like this? So he says that what happens. So all these people in this, all these things, there some certain things comes, like there is a tsunami that comes, or even there is a pandemic situation like that comes, and that point of time there is this samuik, the apatti or the sankat or the problem that comes into picture. That point of time, all these people experiences something which happens inside the samashti. Now let us understand what is samashti and what is vyashti. So what is vyashti is your individual consciousness, and then we saw that chidakasha. So for example, the chidakasha, the Ishvara, the Brahma, or Shiva, whatever you say, that has its own chitta called chidakasha, and whatever is appearing over there, that becomes the common thing for all the individual chittas, right? For me, for Dhaneshwarji, for Ramaji, for Sangitaji, we have our own individual chittas. But for this, something which is common, for example, this planet Earth, which is common to all of us, as it is a part of samashti. So it will become clear to us, or something which is individual to me, which is not common to you and me, that it becomes your vyashti. So for us, it is always like that, something which is there as a vyashti to individually to us, and something which is there as a common to all of us. So that is called samashti. So in such a samashti, in that Virat Purusha, that Virat Purusha means that Chidakasha, and then this Jagata, this universe, it is his anga, right? It is its avayava, it is all body parts. No? So like that, this sthiti comes, and when that things inside that samashti, all these dhatus, etc., all these things, whatever is there, when there is the prakriti, that nature is there, and it loses its santulan, it loses its balance. So when it loses its balance, that point of time, whatever the situation that arises, that all the chitta, everybody have to go through that, experience that. For example, when the pralaya happens, at the time of pralaya, if all that water is flowing through, every chitta, everybody has to flow through that. Everybody will be taken over like a tsunami. No, everybody will go through that. So like that, they have to experience, go through it, that whatever is happening at the level of that samashti. So whatever happens at the samashti, that point of time, everybody will experience the sukha, dukkha, whatever that is they have to experience. It's something like, hey sadhu, something that if there is an this lightning is there, and if that lightning falls, that point of time it just burns many people around, it burns many vrukshas around. So that point of time, like that, it just appears, the many dushkarmas, all these people that combine together, it appears on that, and they go through the karma phala of that. So that is what has been said that. So like this, and yet all these things are really and at the level of hallucination, just kalpana only, that it happens like this. But this is how he explains to his question. So that point of time, some of the jivas, they come together and they experience the shubha and ashubha karmas and its phalas. Some of the kartutva bhiman rahit, who are jivan mukta, someone who are enlightened master, they also experience the phalas of this as a common thing, and that is where it appears like that. That point of time, this thing, even the jivan mukta, the one who are free from all this thing, they also experience that. They have to go through this dukkha without any reason. No, there is no reason. Just they are part of this samashti, so they experiences that. So that is the things that he tells to them. To whom this is being told? The Muni, which is telling this to Vyadha, that Muni is there inside the disciple's body, where that disciple is watching a dream. Inside dream, this he also enters. In this he sleeps, and inside his dream, he has met with another sage, and that sage is telling this knowledge to that Vyadhi, that Muni, who has forgotten himself, about himself. So that is what is happened, and this story of this is being told by that Muni to the Vyadha. So that is where he says that Vyadha, like this, I have seen that Muni was giving me the knowledge, he was giving me the bodh, and that point of time, and inside me, that tattva viveka, that born, that viveka, that thing was born, and then I really understood what is the reality here, and I became aware about myself, and then that jnana dana, because of his jnana dana, that upakara, then I really thanked to him, and then I offered my prayer, and after that I welcomed him, that okay, kindly stay with me. So at that point of time, that Muni was that Muni stayed with me, and then after that, papa punya, all these things, because of thing that moha, that entanglement was completely diminished, and that point of time I became really calm and quiet. I became completely calm. I was into Maun, and then that he was not speaking anything, and then even I was not speaking anything. And that point of time, in this Drishya Jagata, the one who knew the Bhut and Bhavishya, the future and the past, and then he is there, and now he is sitting, even now also, look at him. He is even now sitting here, and he shows him that that Muni who guided me is now sitting here in front of me also. And then this Vyadha looks at him, and that he sees that Muni is also sitting here. Now there are two Munis. The one Muni which is talking to the Vyadha, the dialogue is happening, and the Muni which he saw into the disciples' body, entered into the disciples' body, his dream, inside the dream, this Muni sees his own dream, and inside the dream, that Muni which was appearing over there, now the Vyadha, the hunter, looks at that Muni now into his Jagrut Avastha. So something which doesn't fit into mind so logically, But how does that happen then? Obviously, that question comes to our mind, and that is where it is being explained. How does that happen? So let us look at it. So here Vaashishtha Muni interacts with the Rama. He says that Rama, after listening to this Vyadha, this really saw that that particular Muni is present there. He felt his presence. He could see that. So then after that, he became wonderstruck. How come someone who is there inside the dream's dream, someone which is there, which is guiding him, how come that person is present now? Uh, Something which is very wonder, right? So how come that? How come this akalpit chamatkara? It's a miracle for him. And after seeing that miracle, he becomes completely badhir. No, his buddhi, his intellect is not working no more. So he says that inside the mind only says that that one who was staying in the aranya, that shishya into the shariropas thing, he has entered into the this swapnavastha, and into this pralaya, this person started flowing, and this Muni who they went into the sansara, started living the life of that Aranyavasi. Into his parakaya, into his swapna jagata, he met with an guru, and that into his swapna avastha, into that swapna avastha, after finished, he came into the Jagruta avastha, and into that avastharanta, that universe has also changed, and inside that, this guru which was present at point of time, he said, you are here in front of me also. What is this chamatkar? What is this miracle? No, I'm not really able to. This is what who is thinking. This Vyadha, that hunter is thinking with himself. That he says, am I real here, or am I also watching a dream? Because this is something they kindly explain it to me. He requests to that Muni, kindly explain this to me. What is going on here? So that is where that Muni who is interacting with the Vyadha now explains him what is happening here. So he says that hey Mahabhaga, that is the I'll tell you how this chamatkarik, how this miraculous Vartaman, how this has really happened. I'll explain to you. So what has happened, into the he explained there is a Magh, there's a month called Magh. Into that Magh Mahina, which has gone, and after that it was all the very winter season, and in that winter season, into that Akashma, after listening to this Upadesha, after listening to this guidance of this Muni, that point of time, Anais, I have understood, I became aware, and that point of time, I also became just like that Muni, I also became Atmagani. That point of time, and like that, when the moment I realize myself that I am also Muni like him, no. Like that, the moment I realized these things, that Swapna Bhava diminished, and that point of time I came back to the I experienced that okay, I am in the Swapna, and I came out of that Swapna, and then I started experience, okay, I need to now go out of the body of whom? This disciple. But when I searched for a gateway to come out of that, earlier he came out once. I searched for any gateway, but I did not found anything. I could not come out of that dream of whose? That disciple's dream. I could not come out. So because of that, I could not come out of that dream. I again slept and entered into my own dream, and that I had an interaction with that guru who is giving the Upadesha to me. He said that what is happening? How come I am not able to go outside the dream of that disciple? That is where that guru, that who is there inside his dream, now tells him the truth. What has happened? He says that, look, what has happened when you enter into your disciple's body, then you entered into his dream. Inside his dream, you saw another dream. You slept and you saw another dream. Inside that dream, you are talking to me during this time frame where you were sitting and where your disciple were sitting. There was this fire that came into that forest. That fire came, and inside that fire, all the Parnakuti, where your house, that ashrama is completely burned out, and the body, your body is no longer there. That disciple's body is no longer there, but that using the Chitta Swarupa, you are still continuing to live. So look at this, that we see that this body is essential, right? for one to experience the Jagrata Avastha. Here now we have understood that both body is not there. And yet that Muni which has entered into his body, his Swapna, is still experiencing the Jagrata Avastha. What is the guarantee that what we are talking here, what is the guarantee that what we are seeing here is not a dream? Wake up. Is there a possibility that this is also not a dream? And if so, if there is a possibility that this is also can be a dream, what is it that you are worried for? What is that you are experiencing? This, someone said something to me, I am experiencing dukkha, this happened, this pandemic is there. What if it's just a dream? What is if you look at it as a dream? Will you have the same botheration then? It doesn't mean that you will drop your all your actions. No, all your actions will still continue, but you will be free. You will be experiencing that moksha, that freedom right now. This moment, you will experience that freedom. That this is all just can be a dream. You will become free from your sorrow. So amazing, so amazing. Let us look at what it comes. Then that is the point of time he says that this chamatkaric things have happened over there, and that point of time I have experienced that thing. No, so because of all these things, I have experienced that ashariri swapna purusha, it actually came into the Jagruta Avastha. How is that? So after listening to this thing, then that point of time, this guru, that I asked him that what has happened? What has happened? Why I am not able to go? So that is where that guru tells him this story. Look, your body is not there. The Shishya, the disciple's body is also not there. It has gone like this because he is a Trikaldarshi. He is able to see this and that. So he explained this is what has happened to you now. And like that, then after listening to this particular Muni in that state completely got into, he becomes the Atma Gyani. No, he has attained the Chaitanya. So he has just become like a Chaitanya. No, he has assumed the form of that Chit which is there, and then he just remained like that. So he also remained in the form of that Chit, and he, that another guru, that also remained in the form of that Chit only. And then he says, after such a things that has happened, then I came back to him. He explained me all these things, and after that, after realizing this, I also, that thing, it was completely, I became calm and quiet. And then because of that Upadesha, then I have completely, then he says that when he addresses to him in this interaction, that Muni addresses him that Vyadh Guru. So why he addresses him as Vyadh Guru, he asks question, and then he says that this is what is going to happen to you. You are going to do like this and this, what will happen to you? There is this Vyadha will come into picture, and to that Vyadha, you will give the knowledge the way I am giving you the knowledge. And because of that only in my conversation, I addressed you as a Vyadha Guru. So that Bhavishya also he tells to him inside that. And this is what has happened after some Kalantarani. And then I came out of that, I became that, I saw you that you became Vyadha. You came to me and you have come into this kuti, into this ashrama where I welcomed you. And then we have had this interaction. And then in this interaction, whatever is the thing that I have experienced, that Kalakramana, that thing which I am sharing with you. No? So he says this, all this thing to him. So he's into this Paramanu Swarupa, into this Udara of these things, this Vishwa Tattvamasi. So this is that Vyadha in such a Drishya Vishaya. Once I became completely, I became calm and quiet. And then that Shobha, that Akansha, that if nothing was there, that Manasankalpa that wasn't there, I just became into this completely awareness Swarup, and then I became that Chitta Swarupa only. That point of time, that's Vyadha asked him the question. Then if you say like that, then what is this Brahma Rait Nirmal Sthiti that you have understood? After that, how do you become Sarvarupa? How you become like that? And then what is it that Jagat Bham, that Vyavahara, that how that came into picture? So that is where the Muni tells him that I have realized this, I have known this. No? So I understood this, that into this Ananta Chida Akasha, that awareness is always constant. That point of time, this Jagat Bham is also there. That you see, it's like Prakasha is there, the light is there, and that light is self-aware that I am light. No? Like that, that Chaitanya is there, and this Jagata Swarupa is there, universe there, and that one who is one, he's aware about that one. So it is that kind of situation, because this Jagat, this universe is also just like its body parts. So because of that, into this this part, despite of it has expressed itself into these different parts, it is self-aware. Self-luminous, self-aware into that Chidakasha Rupa, whatever that samvedana that happens, according to that only this Jagat that appears to like. So because of that Guru Bodha, that Shastra Nusar Sadhana, and because of that Tarkati into that, because of all this Buddhi, I became very pure, and because of that purity, I have experienced that Chitta Paramanu Udara into that Jagata which has appeared there, and it has dropped that Stulata, that Jadata, and became that Parama Sukshma Chinmatra. I became qualified by that, and after that I just became the Chinmatra. I became one with that, and then I became one with this universe. That point of time into that Paramanu Udara, I was just stable into that sthiti. That experience is I got. That point of time, there's something which is, this is not mine, something which is this someone else's. That thing has completely gone out of me, and I just remain into that Chinmatra Sarupa. I became like a Chidakasha. And that point of time, I started watching this entire Tribhuvana. So once I start watching this everything as a Tribhuvana, then that concept of time also is gone. So then he is there. That Guru, that is both of them in this Chidakasha Sarupa. They are just sitting there. And into that thing, someone comes and walks in. That point of time, this Vyadha comes there, and he walks in over there. And that point of time, that interaction happens. So now we are again asked, that point of time, into that Shuddha Jala, that Tat-Tvamasi, that Mahavakya, that is thing I have realized. And because of the Sakshatkara, I became one with the Brahman. I became like that. And then I just remained like that. So that point of time, this Shant Chitta, this Chitta is completely stopped. It has stopped acting and doing anything. That is nothing but the Nirvana. So this Chitta which continues to go here and there. So he says, Vaashishtha Muni says to Rama, like this, into this Swapnadi, into all these dreams, that Sakshi Bhava Rupa, and who has entered into that Shishya Deha, and despite of that body which is not there, just because of his things, into this Deha, this Muni, because of this Naisargik Apatti, the one who has lost his body, yet despite of that, he just remained in the form of Samvid. Samvid means just an awareness. He remained like that. After listening to this Vrittant, after listening to this Vyadha, again expresses, because he is now thoroughly confused, that Vyadha is thoroughly confused. And then he says that in such a situation, you become completely calm, and then you came into your Mula Swarupa, you remain there. And then after that, he says that after some kala, automatically, because of the Nyaya and Yoga, you have come here, and then you have, after listening to your curiosity to know about the self-realization and knowledge, and your Tattva Jidnasa, I have told about this Jagatan Sarupa, and about the Swadeha, and about the Raga Deshadivritti, about the Swapna Jagrita Avastha, about the Jiva Bhava and its Svabhava. I have told you all these things. Like that, then I also told you that this is all Mithya. This is not real. This is just unreal. And because of this, there is no up and down into this drishya. It is just like that. And by thinking about it, also it's worthless. Why to think about something which does not exist? Like this Vyadha, you remain calm now. You became calm now. No, because of this Atma Saddha, it is Swabhavata Shanta. It is by nature, it is calm and quiet. And into that Chinmatra Sarupa, into that Akash Rupi, that Swabhava, into that Nirvana Rupa, that Mukta Sthiti, you explain that. It is really not possible to explain that Sthiti into the word like that. This Drishya is there, and just by being aware about your own self, this Shanti, that peace of mind you will experience. Like this, after listening to this, Vyadha asks one question. One more question. He still have doubts. He says that like that, if you say to me into this all this Devadik and all these gods and all this chara prani, what is it that happens with them, that they are looking into each other's swapna, each other's dream, like that? That is what is we have to say in such a situation. If they are Vidyaman and they are doing these things, they are doing all the actions, they are experiencing all the bhog and all these things. At that point of time, despite their avidya man, and then they are also not there, how is that can happen? How is we can say that? No, so then that is where the Muni explains to him that this is the jani, this samvid, this is just an chetana, that awareness is there, and then what you say is also true. Because what happens, just in your swapna, just in your dream, if you experience this in this atma, into that chaitanya sthiti, in that jani, that sat and asat, these both things expresses itself. One, it expresses itself in the form of chaitanya, just that awareness comes, and when it expresses it itself in the form of this jaga, it is, despite it is not there, it appears to you as if it is exist, and then the people here, they get an experience of this jagata. Like that, if you see it from the perspective of this vastu, this matter, it takes the different forms, and then inside that form also is only one chaitanya. That is it. Again, he explains the example of that ghata, that clay, and the pot. How is that? How does the pot looks at the pot itself? It is that, okay, there are so many small, so different particles which are there in this ghata. And how does the ghatas, that particle looks at the entire pot? It's all there, it's there, but he sees at it just like a mithya, it's a illusionary thing. And the other one which says that, okay, it's all put together, it has formed the ghata, the akruti, that thing. Like that only Vyadha, that ubhaya darshi, in from the both the perspective, this nana tattva drishti, means seeing multiple things at a time, that drishti, that Purusha sees, and that sat atas asat, that drishti vaikalpita comes into picture, and that point of time, this vedana rup, this samvedna rup, that appears into the bhasa. Like that, once that ekarup, that sat asad rup, that chaya, that prakasha is not been seen there. That point of time, we say that this is the jagruta avastha, which is seen into the dream reality. Swapnavastha, inside the mansik, this srishti, samvedana matra is only true. That is what it proves, like this. So that point of time, if someone which is there far away, that nagara, like that, if you say that, if you ask like that, then this shakti and this, that don't waste your time in thinking about this srishti, about all this thing, it is vyartha. So unless and until you experience this thing, you go into a deeper study of these things, you won't realize this. Otherwise, this bodha which I have told you, it will become invent. You will not be able to relate to it. That is what he says. That he said, I have told you this all the vrittanta. I have been telling you the continuous bodha, the knowledge about all these things, and you are also buddhiman. If you are to understand, you have to understand. You also know it. Though now you do this ichcha, now you do this because of this avalokan, you do this your buddha and buddhi short, and focus on this vichara only, and leave behind all this sanskara and is jagat and all these things, that this is satyatva is brahma, like this. So don't get into this. And that point of time, he, after listening to this upadesha, Kshanabar, he became calm, and then after that he loses its thairya. And because of that things, he says that because of this thing only, this chantalta only, you are not able to get that thing what I am telling you. Hey Vyadha, this is sarva parichit. Inside this both is satat ad abhyasa, continuous study of this, using your purushartha prayatnashil, this thing will not get inside you. This within your antakara, it will not establish. You will not see. So you have to continuously do the abhyasa, listen to the Guru Upashesha, follow the Shastras, and have a faith on this anusandana of that. Once you bodha becomes thira, that point of time, this dvaita and this advaita, and because of advaita, your vichara will become calm and quiet. That point of this chitta nirvana moksha sthiti, you will experience that. This is what all the knowledgeable people do. After listening to this vritta and this bodha, that one who is sitting in front of that Muni into that kuti, he has become wonderstruck, but yet because of the lack of study, he has not practiced anything. No? He's just listening to it. Because of that lack of study, his buddhi is not really able to contemplate on this, and because of the one which is like a twister, his mind was going into twister and he was not able to say, thoroughly confused. No? So that is end of time this Vyadha does the Viparit Kalpana, and because of that, what is the word? Say this, because of this Nirvana and Moksha is what exactly it is that this Muni is telling me. Is it really that thing, or is it something else? Because of this avidya shakti, is that this world is created because of the avidya, ignorance, that thing? This drishya jagata, is it really all lie, like, or it is that abhava? Like this, I'm sitting here and I'm just going and thinking about this srishti like this. No, instead of spending time in this, now let me go and do the tapa. Let me go and do some tapascharya, and using that tapascharya I'll become really powerful, and because after that I'll just go and take a very big body, and after that I will go and travel. I will take the uddana, I will go and travel outside the world. I will see everything. Like that only I will do, and I'll then this drishya and that Veda, and I'll go beyond the sukha and dukkha, like that things, and then I'll achieve the sukha after that. That Vyadha is thinking like this, and then he says, and because of such a chitta, this Vaashishtha Muni tells to the Rama, because of such a Vyadha, that because of the lack of study, lack of experience, lack of practices, lack of yoga, pranayama, meditation, lack of not practicing this, the one Upadesha which was told by the Guru, that thing, despite of that, he did not get that. Despite of telling this Upadesha by Tarka Shuddha, Anubhava Siddha, experience Drishanta Sahit, he has been guided like this, yet that Upadesha got in vain, and he could not really get it to the trust. And that is what has happened to this fool, that Vyadha. He does all the tapascharya, he does get the siddhis, he does makes his body full, and then he goes into the things. Because of the Brahma, he gives them the boon, he makes his whole body very big, and he goes to the Brahman of seeing this entire Akasha and in this entire universe. And after that his death has happened, and this his Shava, that is his body which was falling on that earth, which the Bhasa, the Parishit Raja, which has become the Bhasa, he sees that that body is falling and it falls onto the earth, and we have seen what all happens with all that. So look at this Brahma, look at this illusion that has been taken place here. It is so amazing, so deep within deep, all these things that we saw together. So because of all these things, the moment you come into reality, because of all these things, you become aware about all this vastness of all these things, you come to the reality, and then all your dukkhas and all these things, that this world is just like a dream. Once you experience that, you will become free from all your dukkhas and all that. Like that, the Vaashishtha Muni says to him. And then he tells that what will happen to you, you'll do like this, you'll do like this is what will happen, then you'll do like this, after that you'll, and then you'll do, and then you'll become mukha. That also he tells, like this. So all these things happen. No, it's so amazing, so amazing. So we'll take a pause here. I'd like to hand over this session to all of you. You are welcome to unmute, and you are welcome to express yourself. If you have any questions, you are welcome to ask that also.
What happens in Sakshi Bhav?
Yeah, so what happens in Sakshi Bhav, when you just take a seat, it's like just like that you're watching a movie, right? What happens inside the movie? What happens? Temporarily, you might have an impact of movie. You get emotional if there is emotional scene that happens. For temporarily, it becomes emotional. The moment you come out of that movie theater, what is that Sakshi Bhava is doing? It was just a movie. It's finished, gone, finished. Do you take it so seriously? No, right? You just take it as an entertainment. This is exactly what happens when you are living in this world and multiple situation because of vyakti, parasthiti, vastu. It comes into your life. You'll just see that as a movie. And you won't feel too much of entanglement, too much of anger, too much of getting stuck into that. You'll just experience it sweet as a movie. You'll get into the Sakshi Bhava, and then you will be free from that. Just like a movie, or just like, okay, this is just a dream. The moment you see you're watching a dream, inside the dream something happens, and the moment you come out of the dream, what is it that whatever have happened inside the dream, what we do? Arey chhodne yaar, it was just a dream. So you're free from it. Whatever the dukkha that you are experiencing inside the dream, you are free, just like that. You are free. So inside this thing, the moment you see that this is just a dream, or this is just like a movie, this is just a game which is going on, you are free from that. You're free from all the things that one experiences, the sorrow, the dukkha, all these things will diminish. That is what is called as Sakshi Bhava, that ultimate observer, without forming any impression. That ultimate Sakshi Bhava also will help you. You will continue to do all your actions. To other person, you will just appear very, very ordinary and very normal person. You will continue to do all your actions, irrespective of in whatever ashrama you are. You are in Grihastha ashram, in Brahmacharya ashram, you have taken an sannyasa, or you are doing your job, you are doing your business, whatever. All your actions will be normal, but inside you are not doing any action. You are completely calm and quiet. You are just an observer, ultimate observer, which is watching this movie, which is watching all this nautanki, just like a game. That is what is called as Sakshi Bhava. Not getting entangled with anything, not forming an impression of anything on your chitta, making your chitta free of any sanskara, neither good, neither bad. And that sthiti, that ultimate observer of a Sakshi Bhava, is nothing but mukti. It is moksha. Nothing else than that. That is what is there. Yes, Savita, does that make sense?
Yes, and what happens means how the cause and effect comes in the picture when when this universe is formed.
So how, obviously when the universe is formed, that point of time we said that cause and effect is not there, right? There is no current, cause and effect is not there. Yet when we live in this world, it appears so real to us. Why it hasn't cause and effect? And that's a very beautiful question. See what happens at the time of creation of this universe, the one who is the creator, well, let's say somebody, for our understanding, say Brahma Deva is the creator of this, right? So when Brahmadeva created it, he has imagined this as there is a cause and effect in this world. There is a concept of Kala, there is Desha, there is a concept of this Niyati, Prakriti, nature is there in this world. Imagine this, the creator of this world imagined it like that, that this is there. But it's just in his dream. We are all the part of his dream. So it's just like a dream in his chitta. He has imagined it like this, that okay, there is a gravity, there is this, there is that. He created it like this. Why he created it like this? So that we can do the vyavahara, we can do the day-to-day routine, right? Because of that, that cause and effect has came into picture. He has programmed it like this. Suppose he's a programmer, he has programmed it like this. Because of that, cause and effect came into this world, and so it appears so real to us. And it does have cause. You cannot say that okay, I am the Brahman, I'll put my hand in the fire, it will burn. Cause and effect will be there in this Jagrut Avastha, into this Jagrut Jaga. But that awareness, that understanding that this is just a dream and the cause and effect is there, and that Kala, Desha Kala, this concept that I am experiencing here, it is also just in the dream only. This is not real. That will open up to something new. You sit for the meditation, and your meditation, because what is it stops us to experience the meditative state? What is this stops to experience your own self? What is this stops us to experience the self-realization? Are all these outer things. And but with this knowledge, Once you know that I am that just the Chaitanya, all these things is unreal, you close your eye and within no matter of time, all the thoughts, all this chitta, that will all diminish, and then you will be able to experience that deep samadhi. You'll be able to experience that your own self in a very deep manner. That is very cool. Then once you are there with your own self, then what is it not possible for you? Anything, whatever the material success, spiritual success, this, that, everything will be at your feet once you experience your own self. Once you just have an experience of your own self, you know, then that all this apashu shakti, that shanti, prem, bhakti, everything is there with you. You will start experiencing that in your all your day-to-day routine, in doing your action. That feeling of contentment will be there. There, your actions will not be oriented towards now achieve anything, no results, no things. You will be just doing an action as it comes. You will just fulfill the responsibility of that moment, and you'll move on. And there will not be any preconceived ideas, preconceived concepts. There will not be duality. Imagine when you do not have any duality in your life, all your dvandvas will disappear. Neither that you have to try to earn any punya also. Neither you are wanting to do it also. Neither you want to live in this world. Neither you want to die. All these things will diminish out of your life. You will become free. And can you experience the power of freedom? Can you experience the power of moksha? Just look at the life of Gurudev. What is happening? 40 years of art of living. What has happened? Billions of people have been touched, right? 3-4 billion people have been touched in their lives. They are brought into this knowledge. That is what happens when you become free. And who doesn't want such freedom? किसको नहीं चाहिए? Who doesn't want this prem, such a paramananda? Who doesn't want this ananda, such a happiness? The paramananda, who doesn't want it? Who doesn't want such a peace of mind? You will be at such a peace. Oh, this is all just temporary. This is all just a dream. It's unreal world. You will continue to do all your actions. Nobody is asking you to run away from your responsibilities or your kartavyas. In fact, you go, you fulfill your responsibility and do the seva. Take other people also uplift along with you in this knowledge. Do. Who stops you? You will have such a freedom. You will have such a mukti. You will experience such an depth of fullness within you. And it's there in each one of us. Each one of us is capable to experience this, but not on your behalf. I can experience only on my behalf. You can experience it on your own. And to experience that only, we have to continue to do all this purushartha. Why do we come here? Discuss this. Why do we come do sadhana, seva, satsang? That purushartha. Why? It's just to understand this one basic thing. That's it. Nothing else is worth other than this Atma Jnana, other than this Mukti and Moksha. Nothing else is there. The moment you get this, everything else will not matter to you and it will be at your feet. It's not that you will run away from that. You'll go through it. Just like a game. No, the way Gurudev is doing it. Who doesn't want such an experience in life? Kisko nahi chahiye bolo? Yes. Does that help? Does that make sense? Yeah. Anything else, Savita ji or anybody? You would like to express yourself or any contributions or any takeaways? You're welcome to do that.
Yeah, when this Vyashti pralay happens, so the Samashti and Vyashti, why this happens?
Why Yashti, why Samashti, all the pralaya happens? It is just why does that in the ocean that lahar comes, no? That things, it comes and it falls, right? Is there any reason for that? Why it happens? It happens like that, just like that, right? So like that, in this Samashti, things happens like this. It also has its own thing, and when the entire pralaya has to happen, when this entire samashti has to destroy itself, this pralaya will also happen. And then it will happen, it will again destroy everything, again it will recreate. And that goes on continuously in a loop. It's keep happening like this. Yet number of time it has happened like this earlier also. It will continue to happen yet number of time in the future also. Why? There is no reason. There is no cause and effect. Are you getting it? There is no reason for that. It's just happening, just like that.
So their karma, sometimes their karma.
Whose karma? You are talking about a samashti and the pralaya which is inside the samashti. And that point of time, whose karma is there? Anyway, nobody will be there. Whose karma and what? Karma will not be there. There is nothing will be there. It will be only Chaitanya. Whose karma and what is the sanskara? That is there on only chitta. The chitta itself will not be there. Everybody's karma will dissolve into the chidakash. Nothing will be there. Whose karma and whose sanskara? Not the pralaya or something like this pandemic. Pandemic is not pralaya, right? Then if you ask it from the perspective of this pandemic, then your question will be valid, not related to pralaya. Okay, in the pandemic, what is happening? Pralaya is not happening. Yes, so samashti is there, you and me is still there, chittakasha are still there, and then the one which is certain things which are happening at the level of samashti, do we have choice other than experiencing it? No choice, right? So that is what is happening because of that prakriti, that nature is there. There is santulan, as that balance has gone off. The nature which is there inside that balance has gone off. So what will happen when that balance is not there in the nature itself? It will go unsantulit. No? So that is why tsunami and all these things that will all come, because the balance has off. So whatever is happening at that samashti level, everybody has to go through it. It's not because of their karma or non-karma. Even the person who is Jivan Mukta, who is a free person, enlightened soul, he also has to go through it. When the pandemic came, even the Gurudev also locked himself into the lockdown. Yes, he has to go through that. He has to go through that dukkha. Yes, dukkha means the actions, right? Inside they are not experiencing any dukkha thing. Not like that. But they have to voga to usko bhogna to pad raha hai na. They have to go through this, right? So everybody has to go through it, irrespective of you are enlightened or not enlightened. That what is happening at the level of samashti, everybody has to experience. Yes, does that help? There is no individual's karma comes into picture there.
Okay. Yes. Yes.
Anything else or kuch कहना है, कुछ takeaways, कुछ questions है, you are welcome to unmute yourself and speak. If not, then we'll conclude our today's session, and so that we can meet tomorrow. Jai Gurudev.